All right, it's time to enter the Bugbear lair. I find this lair to be quite an interesting series of caves. Some different stuff in it, which I thought was pretty neat the way it was written. Some good descriptions of rooms too. But before I get into the Bugbear lair, I want to show you a couple things. So hold on 1 second. All right, so these are the two different editions of B2. I forgot I had both of them, and I just wanted to show you what the differences are. The original says 1980 on it, TSR Hobbies, and then when it got slightly changed, this is the updated one, 1980, 1981, and for reasons that I don't understand, they changed two of the chieftains. The Orc Cave B, the chieftain is different, and the Hobgoblin chieftain, as far as I know, those are the only changes. I may have missed one, but let me just show you what those changes were, or are, I should say. Okay, now, I don't know if this was a mistake on their part, but here's the Orc lair, Orc Cave B, and the Orc leader, whoops, I'm going to block that here, has 12 hit points and is a 3-hit die monster with 12 hit points, and it's slightly different, but here's the Orc lair, Cave B, and we go over to the Orc leader's room, and he is a 4-hit die monster and has 15 hit points. Why did they change that? I don't know. So that's the difference. They clearly made the Orc in Cave B bigger. In Caves C, he's 3-hit die with 16 hit points. No changes. All right, so that's the Orc. Now let me show you the Hobgoblin. All right, so the updated version made one of the Orc chieftains stronger. Here's the original. He is this great ugly creature, 3+1 hit die, has armor class 2. Okay, where is it? How am I losing my spot here? 17 hit points. Sorry, right there. He has 17 hit points. So that's the Hobgoblin chieftain. And here is the Hobgoblin chief in the updated version. And all of a sudden, this great ugly creature has 5 hit dice and 22 hit points. And that's why I decided when I had this, I was like, oh my God, 22 hit points for the Hobgoblin, 5 hit dice. That's crazy. And that's why I ended up making him more powerful in my version as well, because I tried to make changes. So let me show you all the changes from how Gary set up these creatures and what my versions were, and then the chieftains as well as what I did with the chieftains. I'm just going to go through that, and then we'll go through the Bugbear lair. So, okay, here are all the creatures except for the last cave. So in the module, kobolds have 3 hit points. They do 1 to 4 damage with a dagger. We know they're 3 feet tall. It doesn't actually say that. So my kobolds are 4 hit points. I gave them poor quality weapons, so the damage is -1, and so not much difference. The goblins, still 3 hit points on average. Some I think might have had 4. And they fight with a sword. It doesn't say, but it obviously must be a short sword. My goblins, I increased it to 6 hit points from 4. I'm sorry. Yeah, from 4 to 6. So slightly different, still doing less damage. The orcs, now they only have 4 hit points, and they do 1 to 6 points with a spear or sword. Again, the module doesn't say that it's a short sword. I'm surprised that it doesn't say that. So my orcs, I upped them to 8. And they're still using the crappy weapons, so -1 damage to the weapons. And then the hobgoblins, only 5 hit points. And they do, I think it said 1 to 8. They do not say what weapon the hobgoblins are using. I found that odd. That's why I put a question mark here. And Gary's hobgoblins are 6'6". I changed it to 6'4", which I've already explained. But mine have 11 hit points, and they do +1 damage. They have a strength bonus, and or they fire short bow for D6. Okay, so you're going 3, 3, 4, 5. Mine go 4, 6, 8, 11. I think mine makes more sense. The problem, of course, is mine are a lot harder to fight now. The kobolds and goblins weren't. You could even argue the orcs weren't, but I have them using longswords, so D8 versus D6. The gnolls only have 8 hit points, They again don't say what weapons they're using, and they're 7 feet tall. I make them 6'8", but I've got my gnolls are 14 hit points, doing 2 to 8 plus 2, or D8 with a longbow. So a flail or a longbow. Now we're going to get to the Bugbears, which I'll show my stats, of course, but they averaged, I think, around 12 hit points in the module. And again, just 2 to 8. Doesn't say what weapon. A couple times it said it, but in general, it didn't say the weapon. So mine have 4 more hit points than Knowles, and they do 2d8 plus 3 because I gave them a plus 3 damage bonus with a flail. Okay, so that's quite a different variance from kobolds to bugbears here versus 3 to 12 hit points here. The chieftain had 2 hit die, 8 hit points, and fought with a battle axe. He does not say the size of any of the chieftains. He doesn't give the height, and I'm not sure why. He also doesn't say what weapon the goblin is using. I thought that was odd. I forgot that he doesn't mention that. But let's just compare the kobold chieftain. So 8 hit points, I jumped it up to 12, giving him a 16 strength. He does D8 with a battle axe plus 2 damage, and he's 4 feet 3 inches tall, which makes him 15 inches taller than your average kobold. So he's a huge kobold. But he gave him, I think he had him stronger than the goblin. I forget how that worked. I'd have to check it. But the goblin chieftain is a 3-hit die monster. He gave 11 points, doing just 2 to 7 points of damage. Again, doesn't say the weapon. So I made him 14 hit points with a 14 strength. This is the S's for strength, and this SZ over here is the size. So the kobold has a 16 strength. My goblin has a 14 strength. I don't mind that. I think it's kind of neat that you have a kobold being stronger. So he's just doing swinging a short sword, D6 plus 1, or a short bow. Then we have the orc chieftain, which will either be 3 hit die or 4 hit die, depending on which version you're using, 12 hit points or 15 hit points. Fights with a mace. It does say the weapon, doing 3 to 8 points of damage. So he clearly has strength. And this is Bornuk. I decided that would be his name. And I went with 4 hit die, 18 hit points, 18 strength, D8 plus 3, and he's 6 feet 7 inches tall. Okay. The other orc chieftain, 3 hit die, 16 hit points, 1 to 6 with a sword. Again, why wouldn't he be using a long sword? Again, never says the size of their chieftains. So Gluguk, I've given 16 hit points, 3 hit die versus 18 hit points, 4 hit die. So Bornuk is clearly the superior. Gluguk does plus 2 damage because he has a 17 strength, and that's plus 2 in my system. And he's 6 feet 5 inches with his longsword. The hobgoblin chieftain, of course, has either 3 hit die or 5 hit points, 17 or 22. I don't know what these changes were, if they just made mistakes. So he's either doing 2 to 9 or 3 to 10. This is what it says in the module. So I named him Gragnok. I gave him 4 hit die, 22 hit points. I kept the 22, 18 strength, D8 plus 3 with a longsword. The Gnoll chieftain, 3 hit die, 17 hit points. This is Gary's, doing 2d4 plus 2, so he has a strength bonus. Doesn't say what kind of weapon he uses. So here's Jorlik. I made him 4 hit die. Gragnok's 4 hit die. I'm going to make the Gnoll 4 hit die as well. 20 hit points, so almost the same. But so Gragnok is bigger than the Gnoll. They're same size. Actually, Jorlik is stronger. He has an 1865 strength, so I have him doing 2d4 plus 4, where Gary had him doing 2d4 plus 2. So not a big difference. And lastly, we're going to get to the Bugbear chieftain, who in the module is 4 hit die, 18 hit points, doing 3 to 12 damage. Again, doesn't say the weapon. And this is Narlath. I like that name. 5 hit die I gave him, 25 hit points. I actually thought about making that 30, and I gave him an 1890 strength, so he does plus 5 damage. So you've got a nice little scale here, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. Bornuk does plus 3. Tarnuk only does plus 1, d6 plus 1 because of his 14 strength. And Gerlach does plus 2. So simple. And Narlath I made 7 feet 5 inches tall. So with that, now you can see the difference in power Let me also show you one other thing. If the monsters are going to be more powerful, the characters need to be more powerful. Actually, it's because the characters are more powerful that I made the monsters more powerful. In first edition, you could have 1, 2, or 3 hit points. In my system, you can't. So starting hit points, minimum hit points per level. If you are a magic user, you get 4 hit points minimum to start, and you're guaranteed at least 2 hit points per level. A rogue or a bard is 5 hit points to start, minimum 2 per level. So you never get just 1 hit point. Clerics, druids, or monks get a minimum of 6 with 3 hit points. My monk starts with 2d6, whereas first edition is 2d4. So I upped it. Well, it's from Castles and Crusades. I like their monk. I changed it, but I liked their hit die. Fighters and paladins are guaranteed 7 hit points to start, and they're guaranteed a minimum of 4 per level. Rangers 9 and 4, barbarians 9 and 5. The difference is rangers get a +4 bonus to their die roll for their starting hit points. Dwarves get a +3 bonus to their die roll. So dwarves, rangers, and barbarians have the most hit points in my game. So I just wanted to show that. So the monsters are more powerful too, and still way too powerful probably for a party, unless they've got hirelings and henchmen and NPCs and have really good stats and are at least second level. That's how I would go with a party going through this module. If I was going to run it now, I'd make sure they were powerful enough. Otherwise, I'd lower those numbers. I would bring these guys. I would probably go down to 12 hit points, like with the Bugbears, the way Gary had it, and maybe make these like 10 or 10, 13, whatever. I would certainly lower it if the party wasn't powerful enough to take him on, because these guys are way more powerful than Gary's in the module. This is much tougher to deal with. All right, let's go to the Bugbear Cave. All right, so the Bugbear Cave is H, and this is the guard room. This is some storage room, I believe. This is where the chieftain is. I don't think I bothered with this secret door thing to the Minotaur. I don't remember if I just took it out. I don't see the point of a Bugbear and a Minotaur having a secret entrance where they can communicate with each other. It didn't make much sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you. Let me know if that's the case. And then there's this sloped area over here, and there's more Bugbears here. And then down here we have prisoners. So we have the cells in 41 and in 40. And this is really an interesting section. But if you look at the whole cave, it's just this area, which isn't bad. I mean, if you compare that with B and C, these are the 2 orc caves, and there's the kobold cave. But look down here at the goblin cave. So D and F is all of this. This place is way bigger. All right. So because of that, this is what I came up with. I just wanted to show this to you real quick. This is what I decided to write. The Bugbears were not happy here at first because they wanted a bigger cave. But the clerics assured them they'll build more as soon as they're able to. But it's going to take some time, so they need to be patient. The clerics are lying. They're clearly lying, as they have no plans to build any more caves. They're just saying that to the Bugbears. The Bugbears have adjusted to their place and are fine now, though still somewhat disgruntled that they didn't get a bigger cave to begin with. So my Bugbears, as I said already, they're 3rd level, 3 hit die, 18 hit points, all the stuff. There's their stats: 18 strength, 12, 13, 8, 7, 5. And then a female Bugbear is a level 2 monster with 12 hit points, doing d6 plus 2 with a mace, so it's +1 damage. It's a mace +1 damage. And they're 6 feet 8 inches tall. They have a 14 strength, so that's why the mace does +2. 10 dex, 12 con, 8, 7, 5. Male Bugbears all carry 2d6 minus 3 copper, d10 minus 3 silver. Females carry 2d6 minus 4 copper, and d4 minus 1 silver. We'll get to the entrance and what I just said there, but let's go right to the module and start reading it, shall we? All right, so I'm going to read from the same exact thing that you're looking at. I don't even have my module out. I'm just going to read this. The group of bugbears is not numerous, but what it lacks in numbers, it makes up for in strength and cunning. Now, I think there's like 20 bugbears here, 20 or 22 or something like that. That's still quite a bit, but a lot less than 36 gnolls, that's for sure. But I don't know. This still seems pretty dangerous to me. There are signs beside the entrance cave in Kobold, Orcish, and Goblin. Oh, I said Kobold, Orcish, Goblin, etc. Oh, I didn't even know there was more. I thought it was just the three of them. Each says safety, security, and repose for all humanoids who enter. Welcome. Come in and report to the first guard on the left for a hot meal and bed assignment. So they're writing this in every language. That's interesting. How did they do that? And I only did it with those three because I figured, well, they're not going to go after the hobgoblins and the gnolls because they're tougher. You know, the kobolds, the orcs, and goblins are the weakest. So they'll write it there to try to lure them in because they want to catch them, even though that's not what the clerics want them to do. All right. So I said, let me go back to it. Regarding the signs at the entrance. Am I in the right spot? Yes. Though they think this is clever of them, the clerics, rather than try to reason with bugbears, instead told everyone to never go in their cave and run away if you ever see them out here. This they understood. And that's all. I just made a slight little modification to it for my purposes. All right, 35, the guard room, 3 bugbears, and then their stats. And again, here now that they've got them, he's got them with 11 hit points. I think it was either 11 or 12 each time. And their saving throw and their morale, with 2d10 gold pieces each. These creatures lounge on stools near a smoking brazier, which has skewers of meat toasting over the coals. I love this. See, this is different. This is interesting. Each will ignore his great mace when intruders enter, reaching instead for the food. Though they do not speak common, they will grab and eat a chunk, then offer the skewers to the adventurers, and suddenly use them as swords to strike first blow at +2 bonus to hit due to surprise, unless the victims are very alert. Okay. There are 2 cots in the place and a large gong. If the battle goes badly, one will smite the gong to warn the others in the complex. If that happens, the party better run. How are you possibly going to survive an onslaught of every bugbear in here coming at you? I think it's like 20 of them total. I forget the exact number. But that's insane. But the skewers, now it's interesting. He doesn't say what damage the skewers do, which I thought was odd. So here's what I added. 35 guard room. This is just what I added. There are 3 cots on the south wall and a table with a bench on the west wall. On the table is a small barrel, half full of ale, and 3 crude mugs. Making sure I'm in the right place again, yes. Along with some bread, cheese, and a dried herb, catnip. The bugbears love it. Now, I said that because later we'll run into the catnip, and I decided, well, if it's in the storage room, they should have some out here. They're sitting around being guards. All of the food and drink is of good quality, fit for human consumption. In the southwest corner is a large gong, see below. Okay, combat strategy. When they see the party, this is how I changed it. When they see the party, they rise up, grab a skewer of meat, and approach them. One grabs and eats a chunk, and then they offer the skewers to the party members, holding them out, as if inviting them to come join them in their feast. Now see how the party reacts. Again, see, I'm writing this to myself. If any reach for a skewer, the bugbears attack with them. +2 attack due to surprise, doing D4 +2 points of damage. This is a free surprise attack. So +2 to their attack rolls. Then they grab their, you know what that means, obviously. Then they grab their mace and attack. Any who don't reach must roll to see if they're surprised, 6 and 12, to avoid a surprise attack, meaning they can also attack back this round. At this point, the bugbears can't be surprised. Obviously, they can't be surprised. They're aware. So I don't even know why I wrote some of that. Lastly, smiting the gong. Not sure about this one either. If the battle goes badly, one will try to smite the gong to warn the others in the complex, and then will either continue to battle and try to survive until help comes, or pretend to surrender, stall for time, claiming that they just sounded the gong of surrender, and now everybody else will come and surrender. Of course, this plan will most likely not work. Smiting the gong will bring the Bugbears from areas 39 in 2 rounds, 38 in 3, and the Chief from 36 in 4. I don't know. I just tried to finagle it a little bit, but the gong that's just a crazy thing to put in here, but I left it in. I don't know. All right, 36, the Chieftain's Room. This tough old bugbear is equal to an ogre, AC 5. Okay, hit die 4. He gave him 18 hit points. We've already been through this. He has a pouch with a key, 29 platinum pieces. That's nice. And 3 50 gold piece gems in it. That's good. With him is a female bugbear equal to a male, so she has 12 hit points. Does 2 to 8. She has gold earrings worth 100 gold pieces. The furnishings of the room are battered and crude, but several pieces of silk are mixed up with the bedding. All right, so he doesn't describe the furnishings, which I will, but there's silk. In all, 6 may be found. The party will be able to sell them. Let me make sure I got that up there. Okay, for 20 gold pieces each. There is a great chest stuck up on a ledge near the ceiling, which will only be spotted if the room is carefully searched. So here again, Gary is doing something different with treasure. He's making it a little trickier, a little more interesting. It contains 1462 silver pieces, a 30-pound statue of alabaster and ivory that's worth 200 gold pieces. That's a cool treasure. And 2 potions of healing, which will break if the chest is roughly handled. It will take 3 or 4 strong characters to bring this down safely. Again, I like that. There is a hand axe +1 on the wall. I really like this hand axe here. And if the chieftain has the chance, he will take it down and hurl it first, then close for full melee. He knows of the secret door. It is his escape route in desperate situations. Yeah, to run to the Minotaur? Really? I don't see that as being an escape option. I guess. I don't know. I like the hand axe. I did take away its magical ability. I'll show you what I did with it. But the idea that they got this hand axe either from killing, adventurers or robbing a caravan or something like that, and he put it on the wall because it looks nice. He doesn't know that it's magical. So I think this is fine. But let me go to my description, and we'll see what I did here a little differently. Bugbear Chieftain's Room. This is the quarters of Narlath, the Bugbear Chief and his female companion. This tough old bugbear has incredible strength and cunning and will use every means available to him to stay alive, even betraying his own kind if he has to. See below. So, unlike the other chieftains that have been described, I'm saying in this case he will betray them. He's not the same. And I think you have to make them different. I think that makes it more interesting again, especially if you get into surrender and negotiations and things. Room description. The furnishings of the room are battered and crude. Okay, there is a shelf on the south wall that contains only clothing and junk. The table in the northeast corner has mugs and a small open cask of ale that is half full. So that's all I added, nothing much. Combat strategy. If necessary, the Bugbear Chief will surrender and swear his loyalty to the party. He fully intends to double-cross them at the first opportunity, but he will do everything in his power to convince them that he's telling the truth, and will even kill a bugbear if it means saving his own skin. But he would only do such a horrible thing to prevent his own death. So while he will betray them, it's only meaning, well, if you're going to kill me, then he'll betray them because he wants to live. So screw you, basically. He's the Bugbear Chief. His mate will fight by his side and go where he goes. So there are his stats, which we've already gone through, except that he has a Dex 13, Con 16, 9 Intelligence, 8 Wisdom, 8 Charisma. And his female counterpart is stronger than the typical female bugbear, so I gave her those stats, which are pretty good. And then the hand axe, I said this is a beautiful hand axe on the east wall worth 50 silver pieces, which the chief will grab if he's able to. It's not magical, but due to its craftsmanship, the wielder receives a +1 attack bonus when throwing it. It's just well balanced, that's all. And the chief, of course, has a +5 strength bonus, so that's a big deal. All right, next, the spoils room, 37. The heavy door is locked, and the key is in the pouch of the chieftain, 36 above. Inside are a +1 shield. I don't really like this +1 shield. I mean, it's no big deal. You can put a +1 shield here. And I think what Gary's doing is he's finding unique ways to put magical items in the module. I think that's the only reason he did it this way. But do we really need the shield to be a magical shield? I guess. If the party really needs one, sure. But I made it just a normal shield. It's being used as a tray to hold a heap of dried herbs, catnip, something these particular bugbears relish. Various boxes and crates of high-quality dried or salted foodstuffs. So here he's giving items very similar to what I do in rooms. He does fill these details out at times. Leather hides in a stack, 3 barrels of ale, a ton of wine, and a small keg of oil, 20 flask capacity. If all but the shield and oil are sold at the keep, the value will be 400 gold pieces. Breaking the lock or smashing the door will bring the guards from 35 and the chieftain and his mate from 36. I really like the way he's described this room. I don't think I changed too much. Well, actually, I did say some things, though. So inside this room are 8 crates, a stack of 20 leather hides, 11 barrels, and 1 small keg. I just got more particulars here. If the party attracts bugbears here and melee ensues, and the battle turns against them, the chief will speak in their native language and order them to retreat to warn the others. Order the bugbears to retreat to warn the others. While he goes back to his room and escapes through the secret door. Okay. The bugbears, if able, I guess, I mean, there could be a secret door there, but I still find that odd. The bugbears, if able, will go to areas 38 and 39 and try to attack the party from both sides. 38 and 39. So we're talking 38, 39, and you've got, this is going down the stairs and this is going up a slope. So if they're over here, they have the higher ground. If they're over here, the party has the higher ground. So, but if they can get them from both sides, that would make, that improves their odds, certainly. Okay. If they are unable to flee, they will surrender. So, in the crates, high-quality dried or salted foodstuffs, 10 silver pieces per crate, that's what they're worth. 6 barrels of ale worth 10 silver per barrel, 5 barrels. 5 barrels of wine, 6 barrels of ale, 5 of wine worth 20 silver pieces per barrel. The keg of oil, 20, same thing, worth 10 silver pieces. The total monetary value is how much they can sell it for at the keep. Not what it's worth, what they can get for it. So that's just me filling in more details. All right, so 38. 3 males are here with their stats, and so these guys have 12 hit points. All the stuff is the same, with 2d6 each of gold and silver pieces. 7 females, 8 hit points each, and all of their stuff. 3 young bugbears. Now, the young bugbears can fight. They are AC 7, 1 hit die, 3 hit points, doing 1 to 4 damage. They save as a first level fighter with a morale of 7. That's fine. Finally, the young can fight. Only 3 young. That's odd. Wouldn't there be more? There are piles of bedding and old garments here and there. Blackened by soot, there is a silver urn worth 175 gold pieces near the fireplace, but only close examination will reveal its true value. I love that. First of all, it's a nice urn worth 175 gold, not 1,000. 175 gold. That's a lot of money. That's a good treasure item, and it's blackened. It doesn't look like it's worth anything. I think that's great. Okay, 38. Piles of bedding, so this is what I've added, are along the south wall. Crates and boxes along the west wall hold dirty clothes, junk, and foodstuffs. There's a large table with 2 benches near the east wall with mugs and good foodstuffs. Plenty of wood is near the fireplace, along with the remains of some cooked animal, which happens to be a boar, and a water pail. Combat strategy. All will fight, but if one of the males fall, the rest will attempt to flee outside or surrender if they have to. The bugbear's surprise ability can be negated. Bugbears surprise, if you didn't know. They have a better chance to surprise than normal. It can be negated if the party approaches quietly. They could even surprise the bugbears, though that chance would probably just still be a 2 in 12. That's my chance of surprising a bugbear. If the bugbears are aware of their approach, they'll try to melee with them on the slope, giving them higher ground. Okay, on to 39. Here's the guard room. Watching here are 2 males. Now, they only have 10 hit points. Odd. 2d8 gold pieces each. 3 females with 7 hit points. each with D10 gold pieces. And I'm not reading the stats because we don't need to keep going over the stats. I know I have in the past. Each has a spear in addition to normal weapons so that they can hurl this missile and then close to fight hand to hand. Yeah, but see, you didn't say what their normal weapons are. Why didn't you? I don't understand that. But I'm glad they also have spears. That's great. These bugbears tend to the slaves as well as help to guard the entrance to their lair. I really like this section of the book. I think this is so cool. There are bedrolls, a bench, a long table, a water pail, and sacks of meal scattered here and there in the chamber. Keys to the doors to 40 and 41 are on the wall opposite the stairs. Both corridors to the slave pens have meal sacks and small boxes and barrels of provisions and watered wine along their length. This is just really cool. And if you look at it, so you've got, this is the room we're describing. So down this area is one set of prisoners, and down this area is another. I'm not sure if anything should be done here. I guess this could be like where they store stuff, more food and drink items. Who knows? All right, let's go to 39. If the party is quiet, roll for surprise normally. If not, roll for surprise with the bugbears' normal chance of 6 and 12. If they hear the party coming, go to combat strategy below. On the table, because didn't say what was on the table for some reason, is a barrel of good ale, half full, along with crude mugs. So I just added that. So there are 10 sacks in this place of bread and cheese, food for the prisoners, 8 crates, salted meat and vegetables, food for the bugbears, and rewards for obedient prisoners. So you get bread and cheese unless you are obedient. And then you get some good food. 6 barrels, 3 water, 1 watered down wine, and 1 honey mead that they use to tempt prisoners. None are of any resale value as they've all been opened and tampered with. Combat strategy. If they are aware of the party coming down the stairs, they will hurl spears. Party has higher ground, so they'll attack with minuses, and then try to engage them at the entrance to the room, attempting to get flank attacks or possibly even rear ones. Like other areas, if one of the males fall, the rest will flee outside or surrender if no other option is available. Now, when I say one male falls, you could easily just change that to, well, if one male falls, will that break their morale? How many is it really going to take to break their morale? Maybe it'll take 2 or 3. But if there's only 3 males and 1 falls, and no party members have fallen, they might. Yeah. It really depends on the situation. I'm just basically giving a general response here. All right, let's go to 40 and let's check out all these prisoners. This is again really neat stuff. The iron door is secured by a bar, chain, and heavy padlock. And now see, the other ones had some prisoners, like the hobgoblins had their prisoners. I forget if the gnolls had any. I don't think they did, and they should. They really should have prisoners. Inside is a litter of straw, a bucket, and the following slaves. 3 kobolds with their stats with 2 hit points each. 1 goblin with 3 hit points. 4 orcs. They have 5 hit points, so that's more than the other orcs from the caves. And 2 humans who have 4 hit points. Okay, they're level 1 fighters, fighter 1. AC 9, so they don't have any armor, and their morale 7. Optionally, add 1 dwarf who has D2. What? The D should be damage, shouldn't it? That might be a mistake. 12 hit points for the 1 dwarf. I guess he's damage. He does 2 because he punches you. I guess that's what he's doing. And 2 elves, AC 9. Oh, the dwarf of level 2. It's a level 2 dwarf. I'm forgetting these are classes in basic. And these are level 1 elves with 7 hit points each. Okay. In place, I said D2. I was like, what is D2? In place of 2 of the kobolds and 1 of the orcs. So you could, I would say, why not add all of them? But maybe that's too much. Okay, they are chained to the wall with a common chain and a heavy padlock. So you're in a prison you're a dwarf or human or elf, and you're in prison with kobolds and orcs. That's got to be fun. But they're all chained up, so they can't kill each other. All will fight against the bugbears if given weapons. Treat as AC 9 unless protection is provided. The humans will serve as those noted in F24 above. That would be the hobgoblin cave. The dwarf and elves, if used by the DM. Now see here, he's giving you options, and that's the whole point of D&D. Even Gary is showing you, you can do this if you want, instead of what he's got here. Here is a different option for you. Add dwarves and elves if the party really needs them. They could really use some extra help. Here's a way to add that. They may agree to help the adventurers as long as they stay in the caves area continuously and fight. The other creatures will desert at first opportunity. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? All right, so how did I change it? Not much, really. Just a little bit of stuff here. I know it looks like a lot. The clerics are not aware yet that they have taken prisoners from the other tribes. I've determined that because they wouldn't want the bugbears to have kobold, orc, and goblin prisoners. What are you doing? And I've also got them wounded. So here's their hit point, and here's where they're currently at. They wouldn't be at full. They're prisoners. Hence, current hit points are in parentheses. So I did what they said. 1 kobold, 2 orcs, 1 goblin, 2 humans, 2 elves, 1 dwarf, and that's where they're all at. Okay, so the elves are just elven warriors headed for the keep looking for adventure. The humans are henchmen who are heading to the keep looking for work. The dwarf is a 2nd level warrior who is traveling east with a small caravan from the keep. Once out of these caves, he will continue on east unless he's asked to join. Now, he's not going to go by himself. You're not going to go traveling by yourself in this crazy world. You would wait for someone to go with you. Someone to travel with, I should say. He has no way to repay the party for rescuing him, and he desires to meet up with other dwarves, but he will serve for a while if asked, because that's the least he could do. Yeah, you're not going to leave until it's safe to leave, like you've got a caravan to go with. Or maybe the party will escort him to wherever he wants to go. That's another thing you can do. Okay, if rescued, the humans and elves and the dwarf, if asked, will serve the party in any way they can. If provided with armor and weapons, food and healing. The monsters will serve as well, but will escape at first opportunity, but they will swear loyalty until then and will even help until the chance to escape becomes apparent. So they'll fight if it means the party won't kill them. Wouldn't you? I mean, of course you would. All right, 41. Another barred, chained, and padlocked iron door keeps safe the following slaves. 3 hobgoblins. Now he's got them at armor class 8. I'm not sure why. 6 hit points each, so that's 1 more than the ones at the hobgoblin caves. Saves as first level fighters. Okay, yeah, I guess that's probably right. 2 gnolls, 9 hit points each, which again is 1 more. Okay, I forgot about these. 1 rebel bugbear. This is probably my favorite prisoner in the whole darn module. This is just the greatest thing ever. 14 hit points. He's got more than the other ones. Okay, I forgot about that. And 1 huge human. This guy's great too. A seeming wild man with mighty muscles, shaggy hair and beard, and staring eyes. He is a hero. I love that. I love the level title. I'm a hero. Okay. A 4th level fighter. I think this is such... I remember the first time I played back in 1980, and we rescued this guy, and we were all like, oh my God, he's like, what level? Oh, he's higher level. He's really powerful. And we were like, oh my God, we're blowing our minds. His 18 strength and +1 for his level give him a total of +4. We had no idea that he was this evil guy, and I don't think the DM ever had him turn on us. I think the DM decided, you know what, this guy wants to get free, so he's just gonna help. It never came up. Strength is 18 strength, +1 for his level, gives him a total of +4 to hit bonus and +3 to damage. He has no armor. 24 hit points, morale of 10, that makes sense. He is prone to fits of berserk fury due to his enslavement, and if armed and in combat, it is 50% likely per round that he will strike a friend instead of a foe in his lust to slay. If freed, okay, so he is not evil. See, I thought he was evil. Maybe I made him evil. Maybe I changed it. I know I made him evil, but I thought it was that was the case here. It's been a while since I've read this. Okay. If freed, these slaves will attempt to flee, although they will attack bugbears who are in the way of their escape. There are two exceptions. The big bugbear hates his fellows and will take arms and fight against them or any of the other inhabitants of the whole area. He will continue to do so for as long as the party stays there. The hero, oh yes, he is an evil person. Okay, I thought he was. The hero is an evil person. Once he is armed, and after battle madness leaves him, he will either kill the adventurers who freed him, so as to have all their treasure for himself, or he will steal whatever is most valuable and then sneak off, but only if he knows the party is too strong for him. And I've read this DM note in the last video, but here we'll do it again. There are two bugbears out hunting. They will return with a human corpse, 83 gold pieces. I didn't read this first part. The day after adventurers first enter the bugbear lair. They will be placed on guard duty at 35, if appropriate, and their statistics are the same as the guards there. And then the part with the bugbear going to see the Minotaur. All right. My slave pen. This is the same as 41, but with the following prisoners. 3 hobgoblins, who are currently at 10, 4 out of 10. 2 gnolls, who are at 6 out of 14. The bugbear is at 11. A renegade named Nog, see below. Not eggnog. I'm eggnog the bugbear. No, just Nog. 1 human, 19 out of 35 points. 4th level again, evil berserker. He claims he was adventuring alone and was captured. Partially true. All right, Nog the bugbear. He is a renegade and hates his fellow bugbears. The chief ordered that he be locked up until he comes to his senses. He will prove his loyalty to the party if given the chance and help the party fight the bugbears, though he doesn't really want to kill any of his brothers or sisters. But he will if that will convince them. He will even travel with them and serve them if he's taken care of and given some food and weapons and such. He seeks to find bugbears that will listen to him and turn from their evil ways, to which I said, good luck with that. Okay. And again, I've made all that up. 4th level evil berserker. This huge human is a seeming wild man, the same thing that he said. His name is Bartholomew, but he hates that name, and says that his name is Bartho. He will help the party fight when he's not going berserk. He tells them he became this way shortly after being captured. He believes he's cursed. He's lying. In fact, he's just evil and is a berserker and can't control himself when in combat. He's always been prone to a berserker rage and probably always will be. He will seek to slay his rescuers and take their treasure for himself, but will help them for now until he sees a way to do so. So he's 30 years old, 6'5", 260 pounds, with the same descriptions. And there's his stats. I give him 1852, 14 dex, 16 con, 12 intelligence, 11 wisdom, and 9 charisma. So Bartho, the chaotic evil berserker. There's a good NPC for your party. And then I've got the bugbear attack a little differently. I said, when the party leaves the bugbear caves, 5 bugbears, sometimes I put them in capitals and sometimes I didn't. Well, that's just me. 5 bugbears will be returning from hunting. Roll for surprise for both the party and the bugbears. They have a half-dead human, future slave, and a dead wild boar, future meal, with them. The human is a normal man, 5 hit points, currently 0. So he's not dead. He's just kind of in an almost unconscious state, who got caught. As his small caravan fled the bugbears, he tripped. In his purse are 40 copper pieces and 30 silver pieces. They haven't taken it yet. Okay, so you're wondering, why didn't they take your money? They haven't done it yet. The bugbears will attack, but flee if things look grim. They each have a short bow and around 15 arrows. And I don't know why I said that. I don't need to know about arrows. Each bugbear also has the following gear: 3 iron spikes, 50 feet of rope, a dagger, a hand axe. They're out adventuring, basically. They have supplies. A large sack, a large belt pouch, which contains 46 copper, 2d4 silver, and some bread and cheese, 2 water skins, 1 contains ale. If the man is rescued, he will offer them half his money as a reward and ask if he can stay with them until he's safe. He would prefer to be taken back to a town or the keep, but will stay with the party rather than travel alone. He politely asks if he could please borrow a weapon. he'd love a ranged weapon. He'd love a ranged weapon too, and some armor, preferably plate mail and a shield. And then I added, just to make it more interesting, if the party does not take any of his money, they each get 25 experience points for such a noble gesture. And that's what I did with the Bugbear Cave. I think this cave is awesome. I think it's dangerous. I think the numbers are exactly, I don't know about exactly where they should be. Maybe I'd cut them down even more. I'd certainly cut down the gnolls more. I would, again, it all comes down to the party strength, and how many NPCs are with them, and how crazy do you want to get into, what kind of crazy battles do you want to get into? Because anyone who's been a dungeon master knows if you've got, say, 7 or 8 party members and there's 10 plus people fighting them, and they've got NPCs, hirelings, henchmen, or just, here's a 3rd level wizard who joined us or whatever. That is a lot to keep track of. And it is very hard to do that and to really keep it smooth and flowing. The game will bog down, and it's happened to me many times as a dungeon master and as a player, and it's hard to do, and you have to be real patient. So I don't know your experiences, but I'd love to hear about them. I'd love to talk about this module. I do hope you'll read or listen to my book, Forestera's Fate. It's in a playlist, as I think I've said that in every video. Just go to the playlist and listen to the first thing, the introductory video, and let me know if you like it. So after this, we'll go into the big giant area over here, Area K. I don't know if I can do this all in one video. Maybe I'll just make one long video, or maybe I'll break it into 2 parts or something. We'll see. And all this time, and I forgot to put my background music. I was going to have this playing in the background. Oh well, I didn't have it. We'll talk to you all later.